Welcome to Softcore History.
Hello and welcome back to Softcore History. My name is Jake Goldman. It is my topic this week, and I'm so excited to be here. I am joined, as always, by, I'll first start with the guy who's super stoked about the Braves winning the World Series.
Let's fucking go!
Yeah, I had to bring Rob champagne at like 11 o'clock or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was actually incredible. I don't know if I told you. Did anyone tell you this, Dan, that I bought Gleason a bottle of champagne when the Royals made the playoffs for the first time in like a million fucking years in 2014.
You told this story like 12 times. Probably on
this podcast?
on the podcast, too.
Doubtful.
It's only been, a week, but
Yeah.
still you've somehow told everybody about this story.
Gleason made Jake drop off a bottle of champagne at my house literally moments after the Braves won the World Series.
Actually, 1/6 of that champagne was paid for by me. He sent me $50 to buy Viv, and it was $61 at the store.
Oh,
so,
Didn't you just buy Andre and then pocket the rest?
because I'm not a piece of shit.
Fuck, man.
If I were in college, yes, that would have happened 1,000%.
No one's Venmoing you for that.
That other conniving voice you hear is, of course, our other host, Dan Regester. How you doing today, Dan? You went down to Orlando.
I did. A little homecoming action. It was cold as shit in Florida this weekend.
Yeah.
For Florida in November.
What was the temperature like?
It was like 50s, and it was raining, though. So,
Oh, man.
cold rain.
That's weird. I heard the cold was to be blamed for Florida's loss to South Carolina, but it was colder in Gainesville than it was in Columbia this weekend. So,
Yeah.
tired of excuses. You get pretty fucked up?
Yeah, drank every day, ate like shit.
How long were you there for, actually?
3 days. Went Universal Friday.
Okay.
Did the Harry Potter bullshit.
You did which Harry Potter bullshit?
Did you actually buy my child a Harry Potter outfit?
No.
Oh, lame.
Why would he do that? He's done nothing but
Because he sent me a
antagonize your
message
child.
asking me if my child was a Gryffindor.
Probably just to shame you.
He's not worthy, yeah.
Yeah. Is your child a Gryffindor?
No, his sword and hat says he's a Hufflepuff.
Why is Hufflepuff such a burn?
I
Because
don't know.
Ravenclaw at least like sounds cool.
They're smart.
Are they? I know
Cedric
nothing
Diggory
about
was a
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
Hufflepuff's got some dudes.
And Cedric Diggory,
It was
stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a hottie.
It's not his fault.
that's
he got-
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He glows. He glistens.
He does.
So, I'll tell you.
I was saying earlier though on the other podcast, our sports podcast that we do with Giorgio, that if I was in the Harry Potter universe, I would be in the Crumb school.
Durmstrang is what he said he would be in.
Yeah, I think actually none of us would be in Hogwarts because we're in North America. So,
Well, we're throwing that out the window. We're essentially what Dan would be a wizard white nationalist is what he said.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I have shaved my head.
You would
a few
be in.
times,
You
yeah.
would be in the Death Eaters. You'd be a goon.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you got goon vibes, bro.
Yeah. I could be a good.
Dan
goon.
would absolutely.
so as well.
Because Dan would just want to fade muggles.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like,
that's got to be the easiest job in Harry Potter too, because like you have magic and they don't. I don't see how hard it is to.
I don't know. Hermione had magic.
Yeah, but she still had to be trained. It's essentially.
was a muggle, though.
It's like showing up to a new continent and you're the only one with guns. Right?
That usually goes well for those people.
Right, yeah. So
Yeah.
Wizards essentially just showing up. They're the only ones with magic.
Either way,
It's not great.
there was it was pouring rain all Friday at Universal. The only people there were all wearing like Harry Potter robes.
Oh, fucking cool kids.
Wow,
couldn't
really?
do
At
that.
Harry Potter World? People were into Harry Potter?
Okay.
No,
Who
no,
dresses
no.
up to go to an amusement park? Like
Literally, just like grown adults wearing robes and having wands. But like,
Have you met Harry Potter?
at least
Like, have you met
have you met Harry Potter?
it would
you
make
met,
sense
like,
if it was
just
a
the world of
poncho. These things are not waterproof. It was
aren't.
torrential downpour all day.
I'm sure in their minds they had said a spell.
What would that spell be?
I don't know.
Yeah, something stupid, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rain,
something like,
Rain, go away.
come again another day.
Yeah.
And you draw a turtle.
Boom.
Do you ever do the
Done.
Last thing, just weird side note thing. Have you ever done the rain turtle before football practice or any sort of outdoor practice?
The fuck are you talking
The
about?
rain turtle?
Maybe this was just at my school, but
Is
if
this
we
some
did,
prank the seniors played on you where you had to take your pants off and
they all spit on my butt.
Yeah.
And they called it
You
a
were on
rain
the football
turtle.
team? Yeah, you had to
They're like,
fuck a
it's
turtle.
raining.
yeah.
You had to fuck a turtle and
It's better than ripping one in half, but R.I.P. turtle.
R.I.P. turtle.
The one thing, no, rain turtle was when we didn't want to practice that day, so we draw a turtle in the dirt and spit on it, and it worked every now and then. Because, it rains every day in Florida.
Right.
Most times.
Oh, it does. like a
Around
minute,
football practice,
right?
yeah. Yeah, so if it rained hard enough and long enough, we wouldn't have to practice that day.
Don't appreciate
I got to
it.
tell you, the entire weekend, everyone's like, "Oh man, don't know what to tell you. This weather just is not what usually happens in Florida. I'm like,
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
I know.
Yes.
I know. It rains every.
The rain is
rains every day,
yeah.
but like it's not all day.
You hear that now because people your age say that now. Oh, this weather is pretty. It's not.
They have
what
nothing
we're
else to
used
talk about?
Yeah,
Dude.
Yeah.
And I still, to this day, don't know how people in LA do it without weather. They don't have it.
Traffic.
Oh, yeah, that's
Traffic
it.
is their weather.
Yeah, that is their weather for sure. It took me like an hour and a half to get what was, I guess, a 7-mile drive to your brother's place from the hotel I was staying at.
You think people in LA talk about things that aren't about themselves?
Or the industry?
To be fair, traffic has to do with themselves.
Yeah, they
They're
turn
talking
it
about when
onto
they. Yeah,
them.
they're talking about how they got somewhere.
Oh, man, I had this audition. And,
Yeah.
So I had to come from the valley and La Cienega, like Ventura.
It also always blows my mind, and look, I've never lived in LA, so I'm not sure, but it cracks me up that people always talk shit on like the valley because
It's right there.
It's right there, and the main strip of the valley is like my favorite part of Los Angeles. It's the most like normal part. Like there's like.
Look at Midwestern Rob talking about normie
Yeah,
shit,
just
like
like
liking
Simi.
the valley.
Yeah, Simi Valley is the most normal area there is.
Is it? I
We
don't
know
know
that.
That's not Simi Valley's not the valley. Simi Valley is actually like 2 hours away from LA.
We're talking about San Fernando Valley.
What?
I don't know.
Simi Valley is home
Just
of
talking about quote unquote the valley. It's like right across from like the
Yeah.
Warner Brothers studio and shit.
Simi
Yeah.
Valley is home of not only Jim Tatra but Donda Academy. It's a new school that Kanye just opened.
Oh my
tight.
God.
So we got the University of Austin. We got Donda Academy.
Donda Academy, in which multiple like 5-star basketball recruits have already committed.
Oh, so it's like an IMG.
So
I guess, but I don't think it exists.
it's just a website that Kanye made.
Wait,
Yeah.
so it's like
It's 100%. It's like us first making the website for softcore history. It's like, oh, we have a website now.
yeah. One of the
School
funniest,
is official now.
funniest scams in the history of scams was like in the 80s and 90s when people would accidentally accept applications to, or like they would think they got into a school, but it was a fake school, like on the beach. Remember that? Joel's probably old enough to remember this.
I don't remember
in like
that.
schools, like people, it'd be like a plot on like Saved by the Bell and shit. They think they get into a school, but it's just like a fake beach school. It's always like in Florida or on a beach or something like that.
Or, yeah, in Orlando.
Yeah.
It is funny how many kids
They kept calling it like Central something.
Florida,
Yeah.
Florida Tech or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Citronauts, yeah.
Yeah, it's that one.
Sounds too-
Speaking of Gleason, he would always call UCF a commuter school. He just, every time he saw me, he's like, how's your commuter school?
It's really not, which is the funny part. Like most of the kids live there, but because it's Oviedo, it's not Orlando. But yeah, I was always surprised by the kids that came in. We'll stop banter here in a second. That came into UF blind and thought it would be on the beach. It's like, did you look at it? Like, did you?
No, Florida is all beach and gators and swamp.
Yeah, it's all beach. Like,
Well, you are swamp.
We are swamp. Yes.
Yeah. That's why your football team is called the Swamp.
Yeah, it's
you
like-
have a swamp full of alligators on your campus.
I just didn't expect. Like, did you not research the school before
Kylie,
going?
can I
That's
tell you-
insane.
Kylie did ask. She's like, so do you guys have gators on campus? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, they just leave you alone? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you just leave the gators alone. They leave you alone.
Don't get in the water.
Even if you do, you get in the water. So lake,
If it's
you get in the
daytime,
lake, you get
it's
into Lake
fine.
Claire. You do a little paddle boarding. The gators kind of go up next to you. They don't care.
No, they really don't give a shit.
They're pretty well fed there.
Yeah, they're well fed, and if it's not mating season or dusk, like,
And it's
you're
like,
not getting fucked with.
Do I really care if I get my degree from UCF? No, that's why I'll take the risk.
Yeah, that's right. Do you get free tuition if they bite you?
I don't think so. I
We
know
don't
It's
either.
not like,
I think
you
it's-
get hit by a car, you get bitten by a gator on campus.
Or
No.
your roommate commits suicide, and
Yeah,
you,
I'm pretty sure though,
sure-
if you got bitten by a gator that the school allowed to live on campus, you probably should get free tuition.
No, I think it's in the fine print. You get like a few like meals that you can swipe.
Oh,
yeah, you get a couple
yeah.
extra
Cafe.
swipes.
You get a week. You get a week at the dining hall of their choice.
Nitros, yeah.
Well, speaking of college and getting fucked up and driving in traffic and things like that.
Right.
I'm trying to seg here as best
You don't
as I
have
can.
to.
No,
Like,
actually,
I'm fine
segues
talking
are
about my
stupid.
weekend. Yeah.
okay, cool. Well,
Just go into it.
Yes.
So JFK, huh?
yeah, right. So what we're actually going to be talking about this week is the JFK assassination, and more specifically, the security detail at the time of the assassination. A lot of times on this podcast, we've talked about the 1960s, the mid-century 1900s, and how, and before that even, alcoholism was kind of just like, if you were considered an alcoholic, you were insanely drunk all the time.
Right.
But we're actually going to kind of dive into what just was reasonably acceptable at that time.
When do you think it turned?
Probably Reagan.
I kind of thought so too,
Don't
like
do
the
drugs.
80s.
Yeah, like when Reagan said alcohol's our crutch.
Yeah, because the 50s, you had all the alcoholic housewives.
Well, and the husbands too. Like,
swiping
I
credit
feel like
cards.
people were just blindingly.
Swiping credit cards when?
In the 50s.
Yeah, okay.
Women be shopping.
No. Do you know how credit cards worked before you could swipe them?
No. Well, you had to like stamp them or something.
It was like
right?
it was like a fucking like.
That was also
Yeah,
not I think that came out to like the 70s.
Credit cards weren't a thing for a while.
You could buy stuff on credit though in the 50s.
Yes.
Yeah,
There
with
were
a
different
store.
forms
It was
of
like
credit,
at a store you had credit there. You would have to pay your tab.
Right. They'd
Like,
mail you a tab and
Yeah, grocery
They'd
stores.
be like,
did
oh,
quite a
put it
bit.
on my tab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really put anything on your tab except for at a bar, and you were closing it that night. Pretty much, yeah.
But no, like people got. I think that's a good assessment. Is pre-Reagan
Yeah,
blindingly drunk.
a lot. Yeah,
Like to the point, like our college stories are like they're Wednesdays.
Laugh.
Yeah,
People-
because I mean, people were drinking in an office, smoking cigs.
That's not it. It's like at the bars, it's just like their options are so limited, and you're just like, especially if you're like a man, like you're just fucking gay if you're not drinking like straight whiskey or something, or like there's no mixed drinks. There's no like you're just a sissy if you're not drinking a certain way and to a certain extent.
Also, think about the amount of free time that probably happened like mid-century before the technology had caught up to the amount of free time. Like,
Yeah.
because all that free time starts really exploding right after World War II. And I mean, there was already free time in general, but like it gets really specific to like what we think of as free time, not work time, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Post World War II, there's, obviously there's a Cold War, but there's a lot of peace. But there's no technology to catch up to it. Like most people don't have TVs and shit. Like, so there's no way to pass your time, and you're just kind of sitting around in the house.
By the
No, a lot of people had
60s
TVs.
I think by the 60s, people had TV pretty
pretty
well.
big.
Okay, you have 3 channels.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, most of
And
them.
they end at like 9 or 10.
Your
TV just goes off.
Yeah.
Wait, they play the
play the
national
It
anthem?
plays the national anthem. There's a weird eagle on the screen.
Which I'm upset that they don't still.
If TV just turned off, I think we'd be much better off.
Yeah.
Or the internet turned off.
Yeah, that's what people used to say about about TV. Like, TV is ruining America. TV is ruining the children. Now the internet's ruining the children. And in the future, it'll be those holograms that have sex with them in their rooms while the doors
I think
locked.
I think the world would be a lot better if there was holographic sex things.
You got to
for
turn
people
off
be able
those
to have sex
VR
with.
sex dolls.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Also, they do. But I think all sex dolls should have to consent as well.
you could program it to do that.
Yeah,
So is that
that's-
consent? If you force it to consent,
Now we're just getting
A hologram
some deep
can't
state.
consent.
a hologram can't consent. You program that.
Yeah.
So you can't program something to consent. That's not consent anymore. It would have to have.
So it's just gonna be- it's just-
We're just getting into the
consent
laws
is-
of robotics
Consent
now.
is a byproduct of autonomy and
Sentience,
free will.
sentience,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, free will.
So are all
right?
the robots in like Amazon warehouses slaves?
Yes.
Yes.
They are slaves.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Then the smarter they get, the more slavey they get.
yeah.
Okay.
But also, what I'm excited for is my grandchildren to be like, that hologram can't consent to Grandpa. You need to get it off. And then my children to be like, look, it's a hologram of Courtney. It's a hologram of his wife. She's dead.
You
just
think you're
have to
outliving
let
Courtney?
it- You just have to let it go.
You think you're outliving your wife, bro?
Yeah, you're gonna outlive your wife, and then you're gonna get a hologram girlfriend that you're just gonna replicate your wife.
I'm a good man.
You know
man.
what?
I'm a
I agree.
faithful man.
I agree. That is some upstanding shit for
Yeah.
future you.
Not
Yeah.
a chance. 80-year-old Rob is gonna be a sleazebag who's just gonna date a 20-year-old like busty hologram.
What if it's my wife, but well before we dated? She's like
How
18.
well before? Okay.
She just
Good. I'm glad
graduated
you
high school.
specified. Oh
Yeah.
God, creepy.
It's my wife.
It doesn't matter. She wasn't then.
No. When you marry someone, you claim ownership on all of their hologram IP.
That's where you lose generation whatever when you claim ownership of.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway, not a lot of things
Her
are.
dad signed that off when he walked her down the aisle.
That's actually an IP clause in your.
I own that. I was there.
I like referring to just everybody's life as IP.
I'm not
Everybody's
familiar
life
with that
is
IP.
IP,
Yes.
Little Succession reference there.
That was
Shouts to
really
Greg.
That was a great Greg line. All right, so not a lot of things are agreed upon about the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Here are a few. We don't agree on the number of shots fired. It could be either 3 or 4, depending on who you ask and where you read it. We don't agree on what direction the shots even came from. And we certainly don't agree on who actually pulled the trigger on.
Who's we and doesn't agree? Because I remember on one of the Drinking Bros podcasts, Holloway, who was in the 82nd Airborne, and another military guy, we're talking about the Kennedy assassination and like the shot from the book depository. What's his name was a Marine, right?
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald was a Marine.
Or a patsy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, he was a Marine either way.
Yeah.
Could have been a patsy, I guess.
Sure.
But he said that like they had a bunch of just like standard ass like infantry Marines try to make the shot, and a shit ton of them made it.
Also, Joe
With the
Rogan,
same kind of gun?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan posted
see
that
that.
photo of the bullet, and that didn't enter a head, in his opinion.
Well, that's good for Joe.
Yeah.
Good for Joe.
We talked about this on a podcast a couple weeks ago when you were doing the karate sniper assassin, and you guys were like, I don't know, man, 50 yards or whatever is a long way with a rifle. And I was like, I don't think it is. And we threw it to the 2 Army guys, and they were like, no, you guys could hit that
We could hit that.
with the scope.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally get it. Like,
I don't think Oswald had a scope, but even the Marines, though, they like
Yes,
if you have
sharpshooter Rob's
so
going to hit
they
that
had
target.
training. I'm a good shot, actually.
they actually, but the thing that's disagreed upon is how many, one, was it a lone gunman?
Right.
That's the big thing, right?
That some people disagree with most people on.
Well, yeah, sure. I bet you believe the 9/11 report too.
That it was planes.
Yeah. Idiot. You think it was planes, bro? You don't think it was lizard fucking drones?
Yeah,
from
coming
lizard
through
people?
What if it
through
was just
another
actually
dimension.
metal birds?
There are only 2.
What do
Yeah.
you mean metal bird? They're all metal. They're all robotic.
No, but I mean, it was
All
literally-
birds.
It was
All
like
birds.
metal birds.
I can get down with that. Birds aren't real.
Yeah, birds aren't real.
They're surveillance. Yeah. Okay. No, we're not going to get into like too much conspiracy theory stuff because there's really not we don't have to for this.
Right.
This is what we're going to be talking about is very much confirmed.
We don't have to because this is just what Jake leans to.
Yeah.
Which is,
Conspiracy.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Jake doesn't trust anything, bro.
No,
It's not conspiracy if it's been proven, bro.
that's right. No, MK Ultra was real. The CI episode where they fucking gave everyone LSD. That is real. That is confirmed.
Yeah, but what you didn't prove is that it was unnecessary.
Yeah, it sounded like they had a really good time.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't prove that
if
it was.
it's in the interest of national security, it's probably necessary.
And if a bunch of hippies are just going to do acid anyway,
Yeah.
You might as well round them up, break down their societal understanding of things, and let them be crazy people.
Yes.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, sure. You're
they're
right.
living
Yeah,
their
good
best
call.
life.
You don't understand what the Soviet Union was like, man.
Yeah, you don't know what communism would have done to this country.
You're right. You're right, guys. The thing that was going to make communism happen was a bunch of unorganized hippies on acid, huh?
You don't have to be good. You just have to be less awful.
Yeah, that's why that's also
USA. USA.
one of us. Google gobble, one of us. Yeah. Anyway,
But there is actually some truth to that.
yeah.
So you really just have to stay one step behind your opponent, I guess.
yeah, the bar is whoever's like the worst. It's like, well, we
Yeah.
don't have Uyghurs.
didn't do that.
We don't have Uyghurs in a camp, all right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay. Anyway, on top of the logistics of the assassination, there are also a lot of questions regarding the security itself. Apparently, there was a very common usage of a bulletproof bubble that could have been put on top of the convertible to make the president more protected.
Just envisioning the Batmobile
Pretty much, yeah.
from the
Wait,
60s.
didn't the Pope have that?
Yeah, Pope
Yeah,
is-
not
Pope
at
bubble?
first. The Popemobile was made after John Paul II
Got shot.
got a couple rounds. Yeah,
And we
caught a
talked
couple.
about it. He visited that guy in jail, and God forgives, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
And we never heard from that man again.
He didn't.
Although the president asked for distance to make himself look more accessible during the campaign tour, there also could have been more security details surrounding the president's car itself. But even if there were more men near him, would it have even helped?
No, and also I just have another tagline.
Yeah.
Or a thing. I may be John Paul II, but you only get one chance with me.
So can we add this to the list of movies we still have to make?
Wait, can that go on the bottom? That one's like not as fun as Teen Jesus for me. What are our other movies?
You don't like a movie where John Paul is like John Wick?
Oh, actually, I like that more now.
Okay.
Now that I think about it. Okay, and that explains the tagline.
Maybe he's played by a Paul brother. We just keep going with that.
All right. Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul plays John Paul.
Which one's the socially acceptable, quote
Logan.
unquote?
Logan Paul watched the guy kill himself.
But he is
Jake
way more
Paul.
digestible, and I think Jake Paul has sexual assault allegations against him. So.
Yeah, Logan.
Did that happen as soon as he stepped into a fucking octagon? Like,
Well, he's never stepped foot in an octagon.
what does he fight in? Was he a
ring.
boxer?
A
Just
ring, which
boxer.
is actually a square, so who cares what anything's
Fighting's
called,
dumb.
really? Yeah,
Fighting's dumb.
yeah.
Disagree.
No, I don't care either way about it. But like I said, even if there were more men near him, would it have even helped?
No, not when someone's shooting from above.
Right. Well,
No,
there-
what do you? Unless the men are making a bubble. No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Like a testudo formation around fucking John Kennedy.
No.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
They just kind of pile
Human
up like
fort.
most,
Yeah.
like most extreme elimination challenge,
Yeah.
where they just start piling to make a human ladder.
While there is a lot of speculation surrounding the president's death, one thing is for certain. 9 Secret Service men who were in Dallas with the president the day he died were either extremely hungover or still possibly drunk on the day he was shot.
So there's Secret Service members.
Why were they drunk? Well, duh. They were Secret Service members, and being drunk in the 60s rules.
So a lot of people
Episode over.
A lot of people
That's it.
give Philadelphia, the business when it comes to throwing snowballs at Santa. Not enough people give Dallas hate for shooting Kennedy,
Was
one of the most beloved presidents in the world.
I'm sorry. Was Oswald wearing jorts and a Troy Aikman jersey?
And he
Well,
had
Well,
did
that
it.
would have been really weird if he was wearing a Troy Aikman
Yeah, I
jersey
know,
in
right?
'63.
He's ahead of his time.
He's a time traveler.
just a Roger Staubach jersey.
yeah. And that might have actually still been 10 years ahead of his time.
Yeah, I
if
really
recall.
don't know.
What's the coach? What's the legendary coach that Hank Hill loves?
Landry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's wearing a Tom Landry hat, actually. He's
Just that
Yeah.
like brimmed hat that he wore.
yeah.
Oh God. Well, actually, there's always been like a drinking culture. There's recent stories about the Secret Service. One I think in like 2015 crashed into the White House, like drunk driving.
Dude, wasn't there the thing like in Central America where they went bananas?
Yeah, they were going bananas, lots of prostitutes and drugs. There's one incident where a guy this is a little less nefarious, but while on duty, a guy fucked a lady in a hotel room and left like bullets from his Sig Sauer.
Yeah, sounds about right.
6 hours. Is
One
that how you
of the
pronounce it?
funniest comments I read from that is so like a lot of it came out, and it was during the Obama administration where some of that stuff started to come out, and it like that stuff was happening for the Secret Service members protecting Obama, and there was a level of like a certain type of Twitter liberal who was like, well, of course they do that with the black president. And then it like came out that it was like Bush, Clinton, Bush.
All of them.
And then
Yeah.
so I saw another comment that was like, well, it's comforting to know that they're always like this,
Yeah.
apparently.
No, it's a very taxing job. If
Yeah.
you can imagine, it's very high stress. You are directly
Well,
responsible
so
for the
it
safety.
depends on the Secret Service. So there's different types. Like there's
Oh, sure.
uniform Secret Service. Like my cousin was a uniform Secret Service member who guarded, I think the Cheney and Biden White, maybe just the Biden White House or Vice President Mansion or whatever. And I actually had an uncle who was a Secret Service member for Jimmy Carter, but he was non-uniform. He was like, actually, funny story. He guarded Pope John Paul II when he came to America because Carter was like, Tebby, you're a Catholic, ain't you? And
see how that
my
goes.
uncle was
Yeah.
like, yeah. And he was like, you got the Pope.
Sick.
You'd take a bullet for him, won't you?
I mean, that's a good recruiting strategy
It
for
is.
that job.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a group of people that are going to take a bullet for the Pope, it's Catholics.
Right.
Yeah. But so it wasn't always that bad. Obviously, like early 1900s, I believe, is when the Secret Service, or late 1800s is when.
Actually, I think it was like 1864, 1865, but it was
For counterfeiting.
Yes,
Yeah.
It was, I think, Grant. No, it was 1865. It might have been Johnson. or
Either
Lincoln.
way,
Yeah.
I low key kind of wish Secret Service dressed like the the Swiss Guard that
the guards
Pope has?
boat.
do the Vatican.
with the
Yeah.
little spears or
Yeah,
whatever.
I
No,
want
it's a full like they stopped changing their outfits in like the 17th century.
yeah, they have like little
16th
poofy
century.
hats and like
Yeah.
weird frilly cuffs. and-
multicolored,
Yeah.
and they got like pikes that they
Yeah,
just
it's
stab
pikes,
people
that's what
with.
it is. It's not a
and
spear, but
I know
same thing.
everyone rationally knows that them holding some sort of like M4 or something, they would see that, or some wild ass Belgian assault rifle, they would see that and be like, well, that's obviously deadlier than a pike. But you see the pike and you think, that's what I don't want to be killed by.
That
Yeah.
is a deterrent.
yeah, right there. Yeah.
Like,
So all Secret Service members should carry pikes.
I
That's
don't
my
disagree.
platform that I'm going to
Yeah.
run on.
it makes sense. Like, one, I'd rather get shot in the fucking face than stabbed to
Right.
death.
We
with a
talked
pike.
about this
That's it.
off
Honestly,
camera.
yeah.
We're like, would you rather be shot or stabbed? I would 100% rather be
You don't
shot.
even know you're shot when you
Yeah.
first get shot.
Yeah.
A lot of people like
And when you're getting stabbed by a pike, that you're impaled.
you.
Right.
You.
You're done.
You
You're
see
done.
it coming. Yeah. But anyway, back to Kennedy and his Secret Service details. So obviously it's been kind of party centric. Like there's been partying, like you mentioned, throughout tons of administrations. But specifically for Kennedy, it starts really ramping up.
Weird. What a weird confluence of events.
So long work shifts and a tolerance.
Interesting precedent for that to happen under.
Yeah, right. Long work shifts and a tolerance for partying and drinking had become entrenched in the Secret Service during JFK's years in office. This extended to the men in charge of his security. Although there have been a handful of Secret Service drinking scandals since then, the early 1960s seem to have been a particularly difficult time for Secret Service agents hitting the booze bottle.
Yeah, I was going to say he's probably passing them painkillers and just bottles of ungodly amount of alcohol.
I don't know much about what the Secret Service, how it was composed then, but there's an interesting line in the movie Mississippi Burning. You know that movie?
God, yeah, I haven't seen.
That's the movie where... was it Ryan Reynolds playing poker through?
That's Mississippi Hustle.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
right.
not the one.
Yeah, I know. That's actually a great movie.
Was that even Ryan Reynolds?
It was Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That's a terribly bad good movie though. It's bad, but it's good. Like when he gets his ass kicked on the basketball court.
It's him and Danny from Bloodline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good. What is Mississippi Burning?
It's with Willem Dafoe and who's the guy from with the Will Smith movie?
Will Smith.
Yeah. No. Enemy of the State, the older guy. He's in like everything. French Dispatch, or not French Dispatch. The French Connection.
Gene Wilder.
Gene Hackman,
not Gene Wilder. Willy Wonka.
Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe. I can't believe I blanked on that. And at one point, Gene Hackman, they both play FBI agents. Or Dafoe is definitely an FBI agent. I think Hackman is as well. I haven't seen it in a long time. But they're like driving along, and Hackman's like a good old boy from the South. They're investigating like racial murders, KKK stuff. And Dafoe's like the young guys, like the 80s. And Hackman, and it takes place in the 60s, though. This movies from the 80s takes place in the 60s. That's what I'm saying. Dafoe's young. And Hackman's like, where'd you go to school or something like that? And he's like, where'd you come up from? And Dafoe gives his background, and he's like, oh, a Kennedy boy. Because I think at that time, the government had been kind of infused with a lot of Northeastern kind of like Ivy League. I mean, Bobby Kennedy was his, I think, head of the Department of Justice, Attorney General. Yeah, Attorney General. And I think that whole, like a ton of branches of the government have been infused with these people.
Sure.
So that are his people. And it makes sense that maybe off the record, you might be partying with them a little bit. But I don't know why. It made me think of that.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that's fine. So I'll get into a little bit more. But Seymour M. Hersh wrote a book called The Dark Side of Camelot. And he says, quote, agents acknowledge...
What's the light side?
I don't know. I haven't read the book.
They all got the only one that didn't die killed a lady. Yeah. Where's the good part?
And then one's just locked up in a room, never to be seen in public again.
And
Rosemary or whatever.
The best outcome for the four of them was the one that died a hero in World War II.
Then I think second goes to JFK Jr., who is coming back, y'all.
Yeah, he's coming back.
Yeah, he's coming back for sure.
Any minute now.
Yeah, no, but he died on an airlight, like a ultralight plane in the
Joe Kennedy Jr.
JFK Jr.
Oh, JFK Jr.
Yeah, John F. Kennedy Jr. He died in a plane crash.
JFK Jr. is like Jesus. He will return.
Yeah, from the sea.
Okay.
So
like Jesus.
Hersh says agents acknowledge that the Secret Service's socializing intensified, starting with Kennedy's administration and then more each year, to a point where by late 1963, a few members of the presidential detail were regularly remaining in bars until early hours of the morning, like 3, 4, or 5 a.m.
To be fair, I almost understand their hubris. Who's going to try to kill the president?
It doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah, what, you fucking stupid? You going to try to kill the president? You fucking idiot? You fucking retarded?
I mean,
come on. You kid president? You kid president.
Hersh also reports that things were so loose that at least 3 of the Kennedy women, sisters and cousins from the president's large family, had propositioned various agents.
Well, it's good to know it wasn't just the men.
Yeah, no, it's a family affair.
The horniest family in America.
Yeah, that just knows how to die good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, they don't die good.
They die well.
Literally 3 out of the 4 siblings died violent deaths. Extremely violent deaths.
Well, they're good at dying?
Violently.
They're a top 3 family in dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe number 1.
You got to go back to the Middle Ages to find a family dying this violently on the rig.
Probably, there's some Russians that can make some arguments.
That's probably true. But I mean, like Joe Kennedy dies, plane gets shot down in World War II, dies. JFK, bullet to the head. RFK, many bullets to the body. The older sister got a fucking, what do you call it?
Lobotomy.
Yeah. And then Teddy, Lord knows the world tried to kill him, but they only got the lady he was with.
Well, he crashed the car, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
Anyway.
What was the name of that, by the way? The incident?
Quickapissic? Quadapisic? Quadapasic? It's not some stupid Massachusetts.
Yeah. Anyway, this is my favorite part of Hirsch's little write-up. It's like, all of this rule-breaking behavior among service members, all of this rule-breaking behavior among members of the extended Kennedy family should have made the Secret Service more alert, more responsible. Instead, it seemed to have the opposite effect. No shit. If the entire family is saying, whatever, fuck it, where does the buck stop?
Right.
The Secret Service isn't going to be like, oh man, he's really fucking around.
Yeah.
We should really bolster up. It's like, all right, more days off. Like more fucking partying. Also, one of the guys they've interviewed since, he's like, yeah, we all worked like there's three 8-hour shifts for Secret Service. And typically the night shift is pretty slow. So if you're going to get double booked, you want the night shift in there. So it's like, all right, he's sleeping. That didn't happen with JFK.
No.
It's like, you got to be on. That's probably the hardest shift to do.
Pops out of the hotel dorm. He's like, who wants to come in here and see what Marilyn Monroe's vagina and cocaine looks like?
And then they're like, I guess we have to do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you do. You sure do. Get your ass in here.
Yeah.
Oh, are we going to do Kennedy? Come on, Dan.
I don't do accents.
I don't either.
No.
Yeah.
Especially ones I can't pull off.
Either way, I do that. Many believe this all culminated.
Take a swing.
Yeah, you don't hit anything.
We already have the voice guy. He's across the table.
Fine, I won't do it anymore. Many believe all of this bad behavior culminated on the day of the assassination.
It clearly culminated on the day of the assassination.
Yes. The night before, many agents had been out in local clubs until the early hours of the morning again. In one or two cases, these dudes were out until like 5 a.m. Call time for showing up for detail was 8 a.m.
So why go to sleep at that point?
Right. You're going to just kind of, I don't do this anymore, but when I was younger and didn't give...
Who are you explaining yourself to?
Anyone from work that's listening to me talk right now. So like, I'm sure everyone's done it where it's like, I've gone into work violently hungover.
Yeah.
I've never gone to work still not having slept.
How many different jobs have you slept on the toilet at?
I've never slept on the toilet at work.
How many different jobs have you slept on the toilet at?
I've never slept on the toilet.
I've gone to my car.
Quite a few toilet breaks, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's definitely toilet break time, for sure.
I've slept on the toilet at almost every job I've had. And at one job in particular...
Lights go out. Especially because, you have the lights every 20 minutes or so with the sensors.
Are we talking about Grand X?
Most offices have the
Yeah,
sensors.
they do. I for this one job, though, this is pre-Grand X, I still lived in St. Louis. We had to be in at 7 a.m. every day for some reason as a normal office job. And but we got off at 4. That was just the way the boss liked it, wanted it. It was really stupid. Anyway, I went out to a St. Louis Blues game the night before with some friends from out of town, and one of them made a lot of money and was buying shots and drinks all night. I got home at 3 in the morning because that's how late the city bars are open. My dad came into my room at like 6:30 in the morning and was like, "You going to work today?" And I was like, "What?" And got up, somehow made it to work like 20 minutes late. Immediately went to the handicap bathroom, like checked in, was like, I'm at my desk, and then went to the handicap bathroom, laid down on the cold hard tile floor with some paper towels that I had, like 50 paper towels.
Paper towels or toilet paper?
Paper towels that I had taken out of the thing, like the brown
That
foldable
is
towels.
the nastiest pillow I've ever
Laid
heard
it on the ground. It was a handicap stall, so it's huge, and you can be away from the toilet. Laid down on the ground and probably slept in there for an hour on the cold, hard tile floor. At one point, the handicapped woman who used that bathroom most of the time knocked on the door, and I did not let her in, and I did not get up.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I will say I've never been down that bad. But there was definitely a Grand X day where I went.
This was like a 3 Rumplemans night.
Okay.
Along with like many, and it
wasn't just 3 Rumplemans.
It wasn't just 3 Rumplemans, but I'm telling you, like, we started drinking at 4:30 p.m. and I stopped drinking at 3 a.m. and the strength of much of the alcohol was obscene.
Yeah.
There was a night, it was a Wednesday night, I went out with Boosh, this kid Randy, and then this girl that I was seeing at the time. We went out for her I was about 24. It was her friend's 21st birthday. She was a senior at UT. And we just drank and did Coke until 8 o'clock in the morning. And then I just went right to Grand X.
That's how usually that goes. But
luckily, we had beanbag chairs in a room that was dark. So I just went there.
I forgot about that room. That was a good room.
Wait, what room?
There's
Office 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Office 1 had a beanbag room. Yeah. Nothing else was going on in there.
What room was that?
It might have happened after you got let go, where we made it a beanbag room.
Was that after I was gone?
No, I was 24. So
yeah, you were there. I was there.
You
don't remember the beanbag room?
There was a beanbag room.
I worked office too, so I don't know.
I did too, but I went to Office 1.
Yeah, I just slept it out.
Anyway, I can't imagine like doing that. And then most of our jobs in our lives, they're important to us, but not the well-being of a country. Like,
right.
So I can't imagine, like, I feel pretty shitty when I walk in hungover, and I'm like, God, I feel like shit. I'm an asshole.
A piece of shit.
Yeah. How do you do it walking in? Like, all right, time to protect the president.
I don't think they think that way. I think they think they're big swinging dicks.
Fair.
They're the coolest guys around, right? They protect the president. No one can touch them. And also, again, I go back to, I think there's a bit of hubris to which, like, who's going to try and touch our boy?
Also, up until a certain point, it was working out fine.
True. Until someone tried to kill him.
Yeah.
You're right. Up until that point when no one had tried to kill him yet.
Right.
It worked.
What was the last assassination attempt? Was it on Teddy Roosevelt?
Grover.
Well, I don't know about attempt.
Grover Cleveland?
That was the last successful one.
Oh.
I think.
I think so too. Was
Garfield? No, Garfield was the last
yeah.
successful one,
Okay.
not Grover Cleveland. Garfield was the last successful one. But I think there might have been there was an attempt on Roosevelt's life, Teddy Roosevelt's life, like one that like a bullet got in his body, right? Like there's obviously uncovered attempts on different presidents to different degrees.
Sure.
You want to get into like crazy shit like the business plot or something like that, you can, but that's different. In terms of like actual, like gets really close, Teddy was probably the last one, so we're looking at 60.
That's a long time.
60-ish
I'm
years.
sure the details have also been a lot more technology updated too since then. They're like, no one's fucking touching this guy. Like,
think about that though. 60 years from then would be 2023 now, right?
6 years from, I don't know that. I don't understand the question. I'm trying to stay on.
Someone tried to kill FDR.
But how close did they get?
Fired 5 shots at Roosevelt in Miami, Florida.
Okay.
So still, I mean,
How do you miss a man in a wheelchair?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that isn't good. Anyway,
Truman also had I feel like every president.
Oh, I was about to say Reagan, but that was after Kennedy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, Truman almost got taken out.
Who's the last one to catch a bullet?
Reagan.
No. I mean, pre-Kennedy. Pre-Kennedy.
Oh,
I think Teddy might have been the last one to catch a bullet pre-Kennedy.
that might be true.
Just
Either
doing
way,
a quick glance, that
Yeah.
seems right. Maybe Taft? No.
Taft is before FDR.
I know.
No,
Or
there's not
before
Teddy.
Teddy.
Before
Before
Teddy.
No,
Teddy, yeah.
Taft was after Teddy.
Was he?
Teddy ran after Taft.
Teddy did run again.
But he was president, then it was Taft, then he ran again. He didn't win.
Oh man, fuck. History's dumb, guys. Don't listen to this anymore. Anyway,
Softcore history. We just hide behind that veneer constantly. It's softcore history. Nothing we say matters.
yeah, no, we just.
But if we do say something important, it matters super a lot and take us very seriously.
Right.
But if we say something wrong and dumb, we're just softcore history and don't listen to us. We're dumb.
That's
We're
how
dumb.
it works.
Yeah.
We have our own double standard that
Yes,
we live by.
yes.
And you should too.
I have my cake and eat it too because why would you have a cake and not eat it?
That's dumb. That's not what that means, but that's fine. That's
Yeah.
how our double standard works.
Yeah.
We don't
I
have to
didn't
even know
understand what that means. Well, we're softcore history.
What do you
so why would I understand what that
do?
means?
Just stare at the cake?
Yeah.
Just look at the cake all day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would I just do that?
That's dumb.
Sounds dumb.
Eat that cake.
That
Then you don't
sounds like-
have the cake anymore if you eat it.
That sounds like you have an eating disorder. I'm just going to look at the cake and not eat the cake?
That's actually really masochistic. If you buy a cake just to look at it.
Do you lick the cake?
No, can't eat it. Anyway,
Do you sniff the cake?
I want to get into some of the stuff surrounding the investigation
put
into
your
this.
foot in the cake.
Okay,
Okay.
wow, we're still talking cake, huh?
Dick in the cake.
There we go.
No. Go to feetcake.com.
Go to cakefarts.com. Anyway, 3 of the Secret Service agents riding a few feet from the president in the following up car had been, by their own accounts, which we'll get to how their own accounts come up very late and drinking, and which is an activity prohibited in the Secret Service rulebook.
Well, then.
The Secret Service rulebook comes up.
Can't believe they did it.
I know. A week after the events in Dallas, President Lyndon John, LBJ, ordered the first official investigation
Old Jumbo.
of the assassination. Its chairman was Earl Warren, the Warren Commission. He was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and formerly actually the governor of California. He was not super pumped about this being named, like being asked to do this. So interesting enough, Warren had already served as a justice on Brown v. Board of Education ruling in 1954. He didn't really want to jump into any other crazy weeds after that. He's like, man, just let me do like normal Supreme Court shit. And it was already a pretty wild turn of events with what was going on. What would soon be happening, especially with like Lee Harvey
Civil
Oswald.
Rights Act.
Yeah, right. So there's already a lot going on. Not only had the president died, the guy who allegedly shot him had also been killed, and the guy who shot him, Jack Ruby, had just wired money about an hour before he even shot him, like urgently wired money via Western Union, like an hour and a half a block away from the place he killed Lee Harvey Oswald.
Okay.
But we're not going to get into it.
Okay.
We're not going to get into the conspiracies around that.
That's just some sexy side stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like that Jack Ruby just kind of inserts himself into the conversation.
Yeah. Why would he just do that? He must have just loved Kennedy.
It's a look at
no other reason
it's
to
not
kill.
not a Kennedy thing. It's a look at me in history situation. I'm going to be the guy that killed the guy.
Yeah, I think people do discount the theory that a crazy person killed another crazy person for attention.
Because didn't Jack Ruby, he was dying of cancer, right?
He did. He died of cancer, I think, the next year. Or it was either 64 or 65 he died of cancer.
So he's like, fuck it. I'm going to make a name for myself. Yeah, I'm going to live.
and
That's
why I said we're not getting into it.
I just want to say this
history.
all the time. I say this all the time. People do not understand it enough, especially people who have not had an modicum of attention like the three of us have had being on podcasts or and especially if you're a slut like me, but anything like that, like you don't understand the high, like attention is a reward in and of itself. When people are like, well, why would they do that? They're getting shitty attention. Even the shitty attention.
All press, good press.
Even the shitty attention. Yes, it is still a reward in and of itself.
Isn't it even shitty attention? You're killing a guy that killed
the
a
president.
Right, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying in general, like,
Man.
and I'm not saying all you need to look. You should look at everything through that lens. It doesn't mean they're always doing it for attention or that whatever. But like, you have to take into account that people crave attention and crave, especially if he's dying, a legacy.
Oh, for sure. No, like his name. No one would have known who Jack Ruby was if he didn't do this. There's a reason I'm saying his fucking name. That is, it's a very good point, Rob. And ultimately, Ultimately, I do want to say I love. Fuck you, Dan. Just kidding. I do love conspiracy theory talk. I love looking at this stuff. But another thing that I really do want to say that kind of goes off Rob's point is conspiracy theory, by and large, except for the stuff that's proven, that I think is real and is proven.
For example, Pearl Harbor was an outside job.
Yes,
We all know
outside job.
this.
Outside job for sure.
I don't know if it was.
Anyway,
It's easy to paint an orange circle on anything.
conspiracy theories, by and large, are
Red circle.
Well, anyway.
a way for people to find respite from the actual chaos that is everyday life and the banality of evil.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, evil isn't grandmaster planned evil.
Right.
By, like, most of the time, Hitler, sure.
I say this all the
But-
time. People want to make their lives more interesting.
Yeah. But
Or
it's
the world more interesting.
if your life sucks and there's nothing you can do about it because, again, a lot of people can't do anything about the way their lives suck.
Right.
It makes a lot more sense if really bad people are conspiring in the background behind cloaks.
I think even if your life doesn't suck, if your life's just devoid of like
Interest.
something interesting.
Yeah. So it's an easy way to find comfort and release, and it's an easy way to cope.
It's honestly, it's a hobby.
It is a hobby for a lot of people. I mean,
It's a hobby.
yeah. And I love reading about this shit. That would be a hobby for me. I don't full sail believe lizards are walking amongst us and stuff like that. But goddamn, do I love reading.
But it's a hobby the same way.
Boy, do I have a surprise for you.
Oh, you are not a lizard person. Lizard people are elite. Anyway.
Like you said, I'm a low-level goon, so they still need some fucking muscle.
Yeah, but you're not a lizard. You're a human that's a lizard slave.
Yeah.
Anyway. You clearly don't research this as much as I do. If anyone in this room is a lizard, it's me because I'm Jewish. Like, I don't know why that was such a hard burn. None of us here are elite. Like, none of us here are lizards.
I know, but you just breaking down why he's not elite so succinctly is.
I didn't even break it down. I just said he wasn't.
It wasn't. You're like, I'm shutting this down. You're not worthy of being a lizard.
It's like a fucking Joe Flacco debate.
Is Dan Rochester a lizard?
No.
No, not bro.
Let us know in reviews for the show. If you haven't left a review already, let us know whether or not you think Dan Rochester is worthy of being a lizard. Is Dan Rochester a lizard?
Is he a Draco reptilian or not? Anyway,
Can't
I think
confirm
we know
or
the
not.
answer. Just leave a 5-star.
God, don't drink my blood if you are a lizard, though. Anyway,
I'm for sure a mutant, but I'm not a...
okay, no
You
more.
just have Crohn's disease. You just have an asshole disease. That doesn't make you a mutant.
It's more Delaware County.
It's
that's fine.
It's in the water.
But either way, it's pretty clear this commission investigation was going to turn into a shit show pretty fast. Even though Warren didn't want to do it, LBJ ultimately was like, hey, you're going to do it. And Warren was like, okay, you're the president. Like,
yeah, I think the country was pretty horny for an investigation into the fucking president.
Yeah, and
Who
it's
got
like
his brains blown out.
You're also the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
Right.
So, yeah, you're going to do it.
add some legitimacy to it.
Yeah,
I
no,
suppose.
it's one of the branches of government.
And,
Right.
you know, they didn't have the 24-hour news cycle. Like, you know, today some president gets assassinated. I think we're on to the next thing, like 48 hours later.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely how it
If
would go.
Biden gets assassinated, I feel like we're just on to like...
Biden could have his head cut off by ISIS in the White House, and within a week.
We're talking about Kamala's fucking infrastructure plan.
Yeah. It's gone. It's over.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of the news, funny enough, 3 days after taking this job he didn't want to do, a news story comes out of the Washington Post that kind of blows up, and everyone's like,
Classic
what?
Bezos.
Yeah. Drew Pearson of the Post wrote that the Secret Service agents had visited the Fort Worth Press Club after midnight and that 6 of them had proceeded to an offbeat beatnik bar called the Cellar Coffee House.
I want to. People probably don't fully I mean, actually, a lot of people do, but just if you don't know,
The beatnik part.
Beatnik is a dirty. Yeah, they're trying to throw some mud.
You are essentially you're communist adjacent if you're with beatniks.
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
would
the time.
say this is the equivalent of saying that is the equivalent of Fox News or something saying you went to a strip club right before you did something bad. Maybe even worse.
That's not even a problem anymore.
It would be like Fox News saying, and they were at a mosque beforehand.
A mosque club.
Yeah. Or I don't know. Yeah, something like
They don't have clubs.
something that is in conceptually to a lot of people counter the
Persians
American
have
way.
clubs.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Persians all have clubs.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, after midnight, they go to this Cellar Coffee House. Some of the agents were out till nearly 3 a.m. One of them was reported to have been inebriated when he took over his detail again at 8 a.m. the next morning after leaving at 5. So,
And back then, you cured a hangover with like some
BC
bacon
powder?
and a black coffee.
black coffee, bacon, BC powder, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever used BC powder, by the way?
No.
No free ads. I won't tell you how good it works.
They had greenies back then.
They did.
Yeah.
Dexies. Yeah.
Worked pretty well in baseball.
Oh, they did.
I'm sure the fucking Secret Service did that too.
Yeah.
So Pearson explained that his information had come to him through Thayer Waldo, a Fort Worth Star-Telegram reporter who didn't think his editors would dare publish a story casting aspersions against Secret Servicemen or the Fort Worth club owners.
Holding the company line.
Yeah.
By the way, in case anyone doesn't know, and I don't know how Fort Worth in particular voted, even though the assassination happened in Dallas. We've talked about this before when I did the episode about Catholics running for president and like how Kennedy had to deal with certain shit in Texas or whatever. Texas was blue. California was red in the 1960 election. So this is a state Kennedy won.
Right.
Yeah, and there was already a dude.
certain parts.
There was already a dude in like 1960 that wanted to ram a car full of dynamite into his car.
Yeah.
So that was already
There's also
foiled.
There's also a clip by I believe it was LBJ.
And it's solely because he was Catholic.
Yeah.
That was a big part of it. A lot of people thought, like Rob mentioned in the Al Smith episode, that like if the like they're going to build a second Vatican in the fucking U.S. and the Pope will live
going
here.
to build a fort outside of Washington D.C.
Right, exactly. What do you think Fort Knox
rule
is?
the new world.
Yeah, who's to say he didn't already do it?
Yeah, I like how all
The Pope is a lizard, by the way.
all religious conspiracies are like the same. Like if you stripped all the religion away and you had to put in front of me like a Jewish conspiracy and a Catholic conspiracy, I don't know that I'd be able to tell the difference.
Also, the Pope is not a lizard. He's a frog, right?
A wizard.
He's a lizard wizard.
Lizard wizard.
Of course.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that throne he sits on? That room looks like a snake, bro. Just saying.
Oh, I thought he like helps Lemmy Winks through the intestines of Mr. Slave.
There's our South Park reference, fam. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, this was all like kind of a report, right? Like there was nothing substantiated quite yet, but it all came to light after depositions that this was pretty much true to a T. Warren was pissed. His anger was building, and it finally found a voice in June 1964 when the commission questioned James Rowley, the director of the Secret Service. Under oath, Rowley admitted that Drew Pearson's column had been more or less true. Some had, this is my favorite part of this deposition, they had 2 or 3 beers the night before. Yeah. You know when you go somewhere and people are like, have you been drinking? And you've been drinking the entire time? It's like, yeah, I had a couple drinks. Yeah. It's like, one guy was drinking, some had been drinking scotch, other just 2 or 3 beers. So I'm guessing they were all shit-pounding scotch, just like getting hammered.
Well, or beer. Either way, though, 2 or 3 means like 10.
So, yeah, it means at least 10, usually. So the prosecution, or whoever, the investigator at the time, makes, I guess this is at the direction of Warren, but he forces Rowley to open up the old handbook, the rule book for the Secret Service. And he has to read aloud the part that says the use of intoxicating liquor of any kind is prohibited. General Counsel J. Lee Rankin hammered him continuously about this, even though drinking was a firing offense according to the manual. Rowley had fired no one. Rankin, the general counsel, was like, how can you tell this didn't have any effect? He asked again, how can you tell the men's actions the night before had nothing to do with this assassination? And it does bring up a good point. I'm going to get to some fun facts real quick.
Well, damned if you do, damned if you don't, because then you'd have to fire everybody. Then
who's left to
There's zero protection.
Yeah. Yep. I was about to ask, so they have like a backup umpire, you know what I mean? Like at MLB, like, or I think at any sporting event, there's like a couple backup.
Remember the fucking replacement refs in the NFL and how we lost our mind over that? Imagine if we had replacement Secret Service.
Dude, could it go worse than president's head exploding?
They're essentially just mall cops.
The same thing would have happened.
I don't know. It could be worse.
His head double explodes?
No, what happens with the Secret Service agents that don't know what's going on is they just start firing into the crowd. They're like, they're in there somewhere.
Or they're just Travolta in Pulp Fiction and they accidentally blow the president's brains out themselves.
I have a fun one at the end.
I know that conspiracy. I know that theory. Yeah. And I actually like that theory.
No, it's actually, we'll go ahead and talk about it now. That's the one theory that I'm like, okay, I could see maybe.
Yeah.
Like, especially if everyone's hungover, everyone's drunk, they hear the gunshots, the guy in the car in front of the limousine goes to return fire, slips, shoots Kennedy in the head.
Yeah.
And is actually the killing shot.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's the magic
theory.
Bullet.
That's the theory. They never release it because it's like, well, he would have been fucking dead anyway.
Right.
Like, why ruin this guy's life?
Right.
There's a lot of why ruin people's careers going on, and that gets uncovered in this.
And that's really...
It's just one dead president.
Just like the biggest one we've had in a while.
I feel like that's the majority of the problems or the things that have happened throughout history. It's just like, why ruin someone's life or career when we can sweep it under the rug?
Yeah, why ruin Harvey Weinstein's career?
Nah, I don't.
I think he didn't.
He got ruined.
He got pretty ruined.
I guess eventually.
I think a lot of people with those kind of cases have that, like, why are we going to drag this guy for this? Like, we don't know. We're not going to look into it. Like, it turns out he's probably a lizard too. Some fun facts about security detail that was there at the time of the shooting. Roy Kellerman, the leader of the security detail, he was riding in the passenger seat of the limousine. Obviously, he wasn't sure what was happening when the shots were fired. He turned to see the president grasping his neck. Doesn't do much after that. Not a lot of people throw themselves in front of the president.
They don't. His wife does.
His wife is one of the only people that gets on top of him.
Yeah, she gets on top of him. Jackie O does the job.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, does Jackie O do the job.
William Greer, our boy Will Greer.
That's a porn star reference, by the way. There's a porn star named Jackie O.
Okay.
Well then.
Neat. William Greer at the wheel of the presidential
She actually
limo.
doesn't do a job. She's kind of gross.
William Greer at the wheel of the presidential limo.
Joel, will you give me a beer, please? Will you give me a hopadilla?
Fucking A.
That felt like a good time to ask for that.
Thanks, man. William Greer at the wheel of the presidential limo did not at first speed up or swerve away at all from the noise, or even like right after he
To
realized.
be fair,
was
what
going.
the assassin would least expect is the same pace of car.
Well, gee whiz,
Yeah.
he's still going.
Like, all right, I shot. Better time I gotta adjust. And it's like, no, it's going the same speed. Fuck.
So slow reaction times here. Neither Paul Landis on the running boards of the vehicle trailing Kennedy's nor Jack Reddy in front of Kennedy jumped forward to protect anybody. They were just like still on the boards, still chilling.
Dude, everyone's so noisy.
That's just the car backfiring. Yeah. So
I'm
they're
fucking sick of Dallas, bro. This place sucks ass.
yeah. So they brought all that up, like, hey, don't you think maybe the reaction time might have been like maybe something could have been done here
Right. Because
differently?
everyone's just sitting in their car, like, oh my fucking god, dude.
So
Fuck this day.
Fucking wood, man.
dude.
What happened this day?
Fucking motorcades. Who even gives a shit, dude?
I mean, I do this every night,
oh,
but
you saw the president for 3 fucking seconds. Fuck you. Goddamn. That's how I would be reacting.
Yeah. Stop cheering and everything. Anyway, the director of the Secret Service, Rowley, he tried to duck those questions as much as possible because basically what he said is he'd thought about punishment, but on the other hand, he had not wanted to blame the agents for the assassination. He did not want to stigmatize them or their families. He was thinking about like,
What else? If you're going to be stigmatized for one thing,
it should be your job.
negligence that results in death. Although I don't know that their negligence resulted in Kennedy's death because it wasn't the hungover agent's job to, like, this seems like a failure of pre-security, right? Not security of the moment. So anyone working security at the moment,
There was nothing they were going to be.
there's nothing they could have done.
and the pre-planning beforehand too. If you really, we can do a very long episode about that.
Right, so
where
actually-
it was just like, hey, there's a lot of tall buildings around this route. No bulletproof bubble. Sure, fuck it, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, this is fine. No one's killing them.
I mean, really though, like as fun as it is to dunk on the drunk assholes on the ground, like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
It's like if you're a little high and you're driving and you get rear-ended. It's like not on you, but
You're high now.
When
Yeah.
the police come, you're
Right.
still intoxicated.
Right.
Yeah. So Warren was pretty pissed that there didn't seem to be a lot of accountability, and he asked this question. Don't you think that if a man went to bed reasonably early and hadn't been drinking the night before, he would be more alert than if he stayed up until, 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning, going to beatnik joints and doing some drinking along the way? Warren is a fucking loser, doesn't
Right.
understand how to party.
Right.
That's what I've learned
I
from
agree.
all of this.
Also, though, there's no amount of awareness that if someone wants to walk up and shoot you in the head,
What's being hungover going to change?
right? Like, you have to be incredibly paranoid.
Yeah. Well, Warren did note a couple other things. He noted that some of the citizens along the route of the motorcade waiting for the president to pass by had actually seen a gun barrel pointed out of the 6th floor window of the Texas School Book Depository. None of the Secret Service agents had noticed it.
Okay.
I mean, that's not great, but also, again, that goes into route planning. How are you supposed to notice every fucking window?
Right.
Like, there's only so many people on
Why
the
didn't they
ground.
tell the Secret Service agents? Or they probably thought it was a Secret Service agent to be anything.
Oh, that's honestly what a lot of people thought. It was like, oh, that's someone protecting.
Right.
Like, that's a sniper.
and that's a reasonable thought to have.
That is a complete. If I saw that, honestly, if I was at a big event, I saw a gun barrel sticking out of something like that, I'd be scared, but I'd be like, it's not shooting. So
In like 98, 99, I went to, we're just going to bring up Pope John Paul II a bunch. I went to Pope John Paul II's Mass in St. Louis at the fucking Edward Jones Dome. And I was so high up in the rafters. And by the way, we had to get there at like 2 a.m.
Oh my God.
for Mass. It was a fucking nightmare. But that's what
Catholicism sounds hard.
have you been in the same building with the saint? No? You've been in the same building with the saint?
Oh, I have actually.
No?
Who's
Yeah?
the mutilated face guy in Philly? Forget his name.
I don't know.
they kept his body.
What elephant man they brought around that they told you was a saint.
No, he's in a church. His body's just laying there, and his body's
Is
like
that
whack.
just? Is he
Yeah,
a
I
saint
don't-
just in
his-
Philadelphia?
I don't know
or-
what Eagles fan caught on fire at a tailgate that they told you in Delco.
And he
was a
burned for
saint.
8 days before
Yeah.
dying.
and he had like a
He's a
waxed
saint now.
face. Yes.
Yeah. Either way, a living saint? Was he alive at the time?
He was not alive.
Okay,
no.
yeah. So I've been in a alive saint at the time. I was not there. But no, we were so high up and so fucking far away from the actual Pope that I was closer to the snipers in the catwalk and watched them more frequently than the mass because it was pretty rad.
No, actually, another thing too. I went to the
St. John Newman. That's who it is.
Okay. That's what all the Catholic centers on universities are named after. Mm-hmm. Newman centers, all over the country.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, his body's just chilling in some fucking church in Philly.
Cool,
I think. Quick Google search.
Yeah. Also, though, I've definitely been at events where I've seen like people posted up high up. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's security.
Yep.
Like, it actually makes me feel kind of good in this kind of era we live in, where it's like I was at a Gary Clark concert downtown. We're at the new like amphitheater, like above all the shit. There's dudes with guns ready to go.
Yep.
I'm like, actually, I feel safer. I know I look like a bleeding heart fool, but and sound like one half the time. But I do feel safer when there's a lot of people with security and guns.
Yes, I don't necessarily.
I don't think it would have helped at Astro World.
No, because no one was shooting anybody.
No,
they were trampling each other. So what is a security? Stop trampling! Boom, boom, boom! Like,
you got to take out the tramplers.
Dude, I don't even want to get into the Astro World shit.
Or the satanic or
shoot the devil.
Yeah, shoot the devil.
Right. So Warren's a pretty big wet blanket. He's pissed. The funny thing about all of this, though, and the reason I brought it up in the first place is, like, half the people in the Warren Commission, the investigation, didn't get the problem. They were like, what's the fucking problem? They were drinking.
Right.
It's our favorite part of American and, I guess, the world's alcoholism. Their drinking habits were considered normal and acceptable behavior in many circles, especially Rob.
Sounds like the biggest thing is the Beatnik bar.
Yeah, it's actually the thing they try to slander them the most with is that they were at something like that.
Right.
Because of the lack of social stigma associated with drinking, it was hard for a lot of the panel members to even know how to react to the stories. Like, Warren's pissed, but they're like,
I drink till fucking 4 a.m. and I'm fucking fine. Like half the Supreme Court's like, I don't understand what the problem is.
They're like, that guy just did his job. Yeah, he was hungover. We're all hungover right now.
Right. I'm at work between 9 and 5. Did I show up at 9?
Did I clock out at 5?
Yeah. And the fact that I'm drinking scotch from 5:05 to 8:55, it's none of your business.
Just get out of my fucking living room.
Yeah, they're like, take the moderate position. They're like, however, the beatnik part, I do have problems with.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All that jazz music probably fucked up their rationality.
Beatnik, I hate the term dog whistle because we talked about this like 2 weeks ago where it's like people just throw out terms and that's like an immediate red flag and how they're arguing when they say like dog whistle, straw man.
Ad hominem,
that type of stuff. All of those are like an immediate, like, you're probably not talking in good faith.
You're not
like,
even listening to the fucking conversation.
Right. Yeah. Although beatnik does seem like a euphemism for like, not black, but like maybe there was a black person there.
There were different people there.
Yeah, there were different people there.
Yeah. And that's all you had to be at that time was different.
Yeah. Was there a man there who was not even homosexual, but vaguely effeminate?
Right.
Yeah.
All that jazz and free living talk got to your head and made you let the president die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, Philadelphia Assistant District Attorney Arlen Specter, who had
the Spec Man.
Yeah. Yes, the Spec Man.
I know that man. I know that name for some reason.
He was big for
the
a
Philadelphia
long time.
Assistant District Attorney Arlen Specter. I'm sure he went higher up.
Yeah.
He had a long career in politics.
Yeah. He had reluctantly taken the Warren Commission job as well. He was the one who debriefed the agents for the Warren Commission. He didn't consider their behavior a severe problem at all. The agents themselves were already devastated by their failure to protect the president. Most of them loved him. So he was just like, I don't fucking know what the problem is. They're sad. They feel bad.
I just don't think, like, they were, like, it's a dereliction of duty, but not one that, like, caused the president's death.
Right.
They all could have gone to bed at fucking 8 p.m. the night before, and I don't think they would have prevented Kennedy getting a bullet.
I don't know. A well-rested individual is just going to be a higher functioning Secret Service member, I think. I think they're able to kind of just sense that the bullet's coming. They'll be able to jump in front of it.
Yeah.
They're more aware.
And, Specter, disagrees with you. But also, again, a lot of people just had the sentiment that although the agents had broken the rules, many involved with the commission, like, they were fine with it. They were eager to protect them from going down in history as the men who had made the mistakes that may have doomed the president. I kind of agree with them. Like, it's interesting.
I don't think it's their fault.
No, I think it's hilarious that they were all shit hammered.
It's honestly bizarre to me how often people getting fucked up is used as some sort of like it is used as an attack on character often. And I'm not gonna get too, I don't get too in the weeds here, but like people brought up that like Brett Kavanaugh drank a lot in high school.
Yeah, drinking a lot. Like I don't like obviously the stories around him and what he did when he was drinking. Like that's obviously problematic and stuff like that. But you got to be able to substantiate those kind of claims.
Right.
Either way, the funniest thing about that whole Brett Kavanaugh thing was when they're like, "Have you drank until you blacked out?" And he goes, "Have you?"
Right.
It's like because I for one I've done that this year. Like, and right. I'm not like
I've been with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Dan.
It was such an absurd line of questioning. But that's the thing.
You did get a little too touchy-feely on me, so that was weird.
Oh, dude, cool.
Yeah.
But like,
No,
and I'm not trying to get into
I'm not a fighter when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
We'll leave the Kavanaugh case at that. But it's just a point of like sometimes
That's what you call
people.
love.
What did you guys do to each other?
Dan saying I tried to molest him when I was drunk.
Tried to.
Oh.
I molested you?
We'll take this offline.
No, you can do it here. No. We can do it here.
It's an open forum.
Looks like you lift all those weights for nothing.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I liked your big muscles when I was hammered, Dan.
Yeah.
So did Terry Crews.
Yeah, I guess so. But outside of that, it's just weird. Like
spicy.
it's funny. Like everyone's like, "Oh my god, I got so wasted on New Year." Like society in general, like, "Oh, I got so wasted. You get drunk all the time. Wine night again. What night is wine night? Every night." And then we're like, someone like they don't like is, or like whatever. Like you're trying to drop the ball. Like you're trying to like drop the hammer on somebody, and it's like.
He's a drunk.
How much did you drink?
Here's the thing, though.
And it's like, what? Are we the same people? What did you say like a month ago?
You encouraged this like all the time.
Was the public actually even going after the Secret Service members, or is it just kind of like a...
This, like...
No, this was more
seems
aligned. The
unnecessary.
public was on their side, but it goes both ways where like, it just, they use it all the time.
Yeah.
They'll use whatever's convenient.
Right, but was this just more of a formality, like just clear their names?
They had to do it, yeah. I
guess.
mean, like, obviously there's a lot of other things that led up to the assassination of Kennedy, but this was a very hot button issue for a minute.
Right.
Like the Washington Post had reported on it. And yeah, I mean,
It's like if your playoff team, like your football team loses a big game, I guess, and everyone's mad that like the team managers were blacked out the night before.
they didn't have the right equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, so there is an argument, though, to be said that, maybe things could have been different. Maybe, obviously if you throw in the fucking magic bullet theory where the guy fell over and shot him.
That is the one thing.
That's where you could kind of tip the scales there a little bit and be like, yeah, maybe he should have been not hungover and he would have had his footing. But also maybe someone shouldn't have shot the president in general. And like,
Right.
there's a lot of things like, I mean, and who's to say, like, I've been hungover plenty of times or even drunk or high, and something has happened where my adrenaline kicks in. I immediately need it. You're not drunk or hungover anymore. Like adrenaline outweighs that shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh fuck, like you were there.
It's a really quick sober.
Yeah.
Also, like, crazy is unpreventable.
Yeah.
For them, like you can reduce it to a certain point, but it's pretty much unfucking preventable. No matter how much you legislate or anything. I mean, like, dude, what the deadliest mass shooting in world history, like first world history, is in fucking France. Recently.
Which one was that? Was that
The one where
Hebdo?
there were like 2 or 3 ISIS dudes with AK-47s just going into clubs and just like mowing people down? Do you remember that? It was like 200 people in Paris. Like a cafe.
Yeah,
a club.
Orlando
yeah.
was like 50, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pulse was pretty big.
The biggest one in America was Vegas.
Oh, yeah. I could see
We don't
that.
really talk about that anymore.
But and by the way,
You want to
Vegas.
talk about conspiracy theories on that one, bro.
Yeah, we can get into that at some other point in
Yeah.
20 years, 15 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But Vegas was one of the most unpreventable mass shootings I've ever heard of.
How were they supposed to know that guy was going to do that?
yeah, there's no
Right.
balconies.
Like that guy went bananas. Was a perfectly normal human being before that. It's not. It's one thing if it's there's other ones that are more preventable, but that one was
Sounds like an MK Ultra guy to me.
I agree.
Also,
He
no
got
one could have
LSD'd.
planned for that many people going to a Jason Aldean concert.
No one could have planned for that. What was that song? Dirt Road? Chilling on Dirt Road.
Big Green Tractor, I think, is one.
Yeah, I'm not a big country guy. I just know that song,
Same.
and I wonder why Jason Aldean did it to us.
He sucks. He's very bad.
Anyway, though, yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about the back and forth between like where we were at as a society there with drunkenness on the job. Like, it was totally acceptable. That's what I found hilarious about it, that a lot of people really didn't give a shit that these dudes were hammered, nor should they have, really.
I mean, look at this right here.
I am
Robert
drinking
is
on the job.
Rob has...
Joel's drinking while he's switching. Yeah. Listen to that.
That was very Howard Dean-esque. And, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, shit's crazy, yo.
I don't really give a shit that of all the situations, because they get fucked up everywhere, right? So it's really more of a problem to me when they're getting fucked up in, like, I don't know, Dubai or something like that, or maybe Central America, although I think the Central American authorities are so on top of shit where it's like...
I don't know, though, because like them being fucked up is their baseline. So if they're actually sober, are they worse at their job?
Right.
Ooh.
Are they even able to recall their training if they're not somewhat buzzed or hungover?
Right. You only know what you only know it in the state you learned
It's
it in.
influence, recall, or whatever.
You just get into Secret Service training and they give you a pint of like dirty gas station vodka.
That's why, that's why Josh Gordon's so bad at football now.
Right. He can't play high.
He was only high and drunk when he was in high school, college, and the pros
Just
for the most
give
of
him
it.
some schnapps on the sideline, and that man will get you 200 yards receiving.
I'm just saying, look at Will Greer after he left Florida.
Well, he was good at West Virginia.
He was decent.
Oh, he was very good at West Virginia.
He's pretty good. Look at him now.
He's a Cowboy now.
Is he?
His backup.
Florida's good now, though, still, too, so it's fine.
Shut up. Anyway.
We have the same record.
I know.
Florida and Missouri have the same record.
And you're recruiting
South
better
Carolina
than
has
us.
a better record somehow.
Yeah.
Hey, Beamer's looking good.
They also don't have an offense.
Running it back real quick. I don't think it's just the... what I gathered from this is this was much ado about nothing. All of the planning beforehand could have been done a lot better. It was absolutely on whoever's 10,000 foot view it was, not on the dudes on the ground. Right.
Like this, at some point, there's games where you blame a unit, like you blame the offensive line, you blame the receivers, and there's games where you blame the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
This is a game where you blame the offensive coordinator.
Absolutely. So there's that. There's also the fact that Kennedy was working these dudes to the fucking bone.
Yeah.
They had to keep up with Kennedy.
Again, get in here.
Yeah. Hey.
Marilyn's taking a shower. Come on in and watch if you want.
Grab your Polaroid.
She prefers it if you point your guns at her.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Rob.
Nipples get harder. Point your guns at her.
But yeah.
I said point your guns at her.
Stop. But anyway, that's it. That's it for that.
Hold on. We have some stuff left. First off, who is this episode's
I was going to say, that was the episode. Who is Hitler?
Who's this episode's Hitler?
I think Warren was being a little bit of a booze Nazi.
It's Jack Ruby for being a whore.
For attention?
For attention, yes.
Okay.
How did he affect any of what?
He just
You
kind
think
of...
Jack Ruby's the Hitler of the JFK assassination?
He inserted himself into a timeline that he shouldn't have been in.
You think Hitler inserted himself into a timeline?
So he's like, it's like someone's it's like a baby shower or something, and there's someone in the corner just starts talking about their business the whole time. That's Jack Ruby at the JFK assassination.
Yes. Did someone do that?
Not at mine. But
Okay. I was like,
I mean, you did tell me a lot about this beef jerky you were making, and I just wasn't interested in it.
I was not making beef jerky.
Nah, just making stuff up.
Okay, cool. Fun.
My Hitler, I guess, would be Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, he
I
did
think
it.
Lee Harvey Oswald is the Hitler of this story.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I'm going with Warren because he was being a real Nazi about the rules.
You could make an argument that Oswald was probably a good guy with a gun.
What?
Taking out Kennedy.
Okay. Make that argument, please.
Yeah, please go. Proceed. Explain.
Well, I mean, do I have to?
Yeah, you said it.
What you should have said next is,
The Bay of Pigs.
tell me
man.
why he's not.
The Bay of Pigs.
Well, that's answering a question with a question is
Yeah.
always
How is
good.
he not? That's what I get when I ask somebody anything. It's like, okay, why? Why wouldn't it be?
Burden of proof is on the person making
Right.
the claim. I hate that you can't, like, that is the one thing I don't red flag people for, because that's a real thing. That's how arguments work.
Yes.
And it gets me so
You're
mad.
making the argument the burden of proof is on you.
Well,
Yeah.
then prove it, Jake.
Prove what?
That Warren is Hitler.
That the burden of proof is on me.
I just did. I just did that. You made the claim. It's on you.
Prove it.
I did. It's on you.
Well, prove it.
I fucking hate you both.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe, I don't know. Please give us a 5-star review, or
Let us know why Dan isn't
reptilian.
well bred enough to be a lizard.
Yes, please let us know why Dan is not of reptile
He's
stock.
too low class to be
Yes.
reptile. Let us know in the reviews.
This is Joe Flacco elite now. So please let us know in the reviews if Dan is of reptile stock.
Yep.
Please go to softcorehistory.com.
Please.
And check out our new merch. We just had a couple new tees drop. A Shit Don't Change tee and a Two Irish to Die Mike Malloy tee are both
So
on the site.
Topsy the Elephant still there.
Topsy the Elephant still there.
Electric Elephant.
And if we sell 1,000 units across all the different types of product that
In this
have that
given year.
design on, not this given year, in a full calendar year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's what I meant.
there's still like
Whatever.
9 months, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Dan
if
will
we
get
sell
a
1,000
Topsy.
units, he will get a Topsy tattoo.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are about 900 to go. So,
He said that his penis will be the trunk. So
that'd be sick.
It would be.
Also, please listen to Drinking Bros History channel, Iconoblast,
that's YouTube. Not listen to, watch. Yeah.
or watch. Yeah,
Just watch it on YouTube.
watch
Yeah.
on YouTube. Iconoblast is awesome. Joel Brenner is switching for us right now. Him and Coop Cooperson do a great show every week there as well. As for, I don't know, for Rob Fox and Dan Regester, I'm Jake Goldman.
And you just got soft served.